Hey Floss Tube, welcome back. This is Melissa, the Stash and Stitcher. Although I have thought in the last couple of weeks of changing my name to I don't know, All Knotted Up or the Frogger Stitcher or whatever, because it seems like I've either had knots to contend with or have been pulling stitches out right and left every time I've picked up my stitching pieces over the last couple of weeks. Don't know what that's about. Maybe it's just I'm sensitive. Anyway, so welcome back. Thank you for, if you're returning, for coming back and watching my third floss tube. Um, if you're new, welcome. Feel free to like and subscribe to my channel. Feel free to drop some comments down below. I've been trying to get to everybody's comments. I hope I have, but if not, please know that I appreciate you watching so much. It's really encouraging. I'm just here to be enthusiastic about the craft, and so anybody who's willing to watch and hear me talk about it, I appreciate it. So, wow, it's been a crazy few weeks for me. I think I alluded to the fact that it would be in my last video, but my daughter graduated from college down in New Orleans, so I had to get down there and see that, obviously. But in order to do so, I had to do some swapping around at work and mixing up my schedule, and I don't do well with that. I don't thrive there. It's not that I'm not flexible. I just need my routine too. I don't know. I try to be flexible. Anyway, so that was a bittersweet event. She's done really well. I get to go back to New Orleans next week because I have to take her to the airport because she's going to be going to Austria for the summer. She'll leave Thursday on the 27th, and she'll come back on August 1st. So, yeah, she's doing some research and doing some archaeology things. But anyway, she loves it, and good for her. I've never left the continental U.S. My daughter's been to Europe 3 times. But whatever, I'm happy for her. So haven't done a whole lot of stitching. I've only worked on a few of my pieces. My whip basket is growing. My projected projects are growing. As you'll see in my haul, I've added several and have several more on the way, but we'll get to that. So stay tuned, and you'll see all the plans that I have. I try to keep my videos to around 30 to 40 minutes. I feel like that's kind of a sweet spot for me if I'm watching a floss tube. Not that I mind people who are longer. I mean, if I have to stop it and come back to it later, then that's what I do. I watch. I have people that I watch, and most of their videos are around 45 minutes to an hour, and I just pause it because that's awesome that you can do that. Anyway, that's where I try to keep mine. So let's see. We'll get started with my stitching. So I have a new start. I started Winter Rose Manor, which I know everybody's seen it probably. But in case you haven't, here it is. Winter Rose Manor by Brenda Gervais. So a lot of the discussion around this pattern that's still going on is what color to do the house. Here, the called for color is Conch by Weeks Dye Works, I believe. Well, the pattern was so popular that you can't hardly find that color, apparently. So when I ordered my floss for the pattern, I had already bought the pattern, so I just went to 1 2 3 Stitch, and they had an option to just group. You didn't have to go through and choose each individual floss, because they just said they just had that little one button to click it and it would send you all the floss. Well, for mine, she substituted linen for, here, and I'll hold it up on the fabric. Uh-oh. What have I got going on here? So here's the fabric that I'm doing it on, and I'm sorry I can't find where I wrote it down, the fabric that I'm using, but I hope that shows up. It's got some nice little variegation to it, a little pinky peach hue. So hopefully that's going to show up really nice. I think it's going to work fine. But that's the color that was substituted for me. I've seen other people say they're doing it in some hue of blue, which I think would also be pretty. It would kind of break up the pattern. So I don't know, it would be interesting to see what everybody does with this pattern. I only started this past week. And that's where I'm at. So I did the roof before I took my trip to New Orleans, right? Thinking that I would just fill it in on the way. No. I envy people like Deb over at Country Stitchers. She always talks about what great drivers her people are and how she can easily stitch in the car with them. That's not my life. That's not how it is for me. No. My husband doesn't mind me stitching, but he's not going to drive to make it easy for me. Well, and to be fair, I mean, the roads sometimes, I know everybody has their gripes about their road system, but our roads in Louisiana, although most of it was interstate driving, there's still the up and down. And then you have my husband who's trying to beat everybody else on the road with him to New Orleans because he assumes that that's where everybody's going. I don't know. Anyway, needless to say, was not going to try to stitch on this pattern on the way to New Orleans. So I did get some stitching done though. I was able to stitch all the way. But that's my new start since my last video. The only other three things that I've stitched on since my last video was What Remains. Again, this is the 20th anniversary stitch for traditional stitches that was designed by Blackbird Designs. It's going to be beautiful. And people have finished it, and I've seen them posted on Instagram, and it's just such a beautiful piece. But this is where I'm at on that. I love the border. I envy people who can go around and do the whole border at one time. That's not my life either. So usually what I do is you see these colors and they're used in, I did start with the border, but then I got to a certain point and I was like, no, I want to stitch some of the pretties in the middle. So I just took a break. And so what I'll do is I'll go back and, like if I use one of these colors in the border over in here and I have a little piece left or I have some length left, I'll go and put it in over at the border. So that seems to work okay. It gets me where I'm going, right? We all have our different methods and different ways that we propel ourselves forward, right? So I'm enjoying that so much. I'm so glad that I splurged and did the whole thing. I was in the first wave of people. They were sending them out in batches, and I was in the first wave to get my piece. I didn't start it right away, but then I stitched a little bit on my red sampler that I have, and I'm going to try to turn my camera around here. Let's see if I can get it in there. Hopefully you can see that. But I stitched right here, and then this little motif here, and a little bit more over here on the border. But hey, I put that in my stand that I told y'all about that I got on clearance at Michael's. That piece is not going anywhere fast, but that's okay. That's going to make for prettier stitches, I think, if I'm not rushed to do it and rushed to finish. So I have stitched a little bit on that. the piece that I was able to stitch on in the car is a Lizzie and Kate piece that I had gotten a long time ago. A long time ago. It came in, it's one of those that comes in like a CD case with the pattern. And there's actually even, oh, I had that upside down, sorry. But there's actually a little dragonfly charm that goes right here. And of course they included that in the kit. And they also included some beads. There's a smaller piece, I mean a smaller pattern, and it has some beadwork, and they included those beads as well. But here's where I'm at on that. Let me make sure I've got it up right here. But back that up. So this is what I've done on that so far. I actually made a good bit of progress. I finished this blue line in the middle. I don't have a whole lot left to go. I've got the stems on these flowers that are going to come out this way. Some more wording and stuff that goes down here. And then the big life right up here in the middle. And it says, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. And I love that. And my daughter rolled her eyes. But it's okay. She's not my sentimental. That was my youngest daughter. Anyway, so that's what I've been stitching on. And that piece, that fabric is so thick that as much as are not thick but stiff, and I talk all the time about how I just can't, master stitching in hand, but that one I'm actually stitching in hand because I can't get it to keep tension in a hoop because it's just so stiff. And when I started it, I had not been a part of the floss tube community, and so I didn't know all the tricks about, like, maybe soaking it, running it under cold water or something to get some of the starch out of it. But anyway, I actually kind of liked that because that's part of what helped me be able to stitch on the road. So anyway, I'll finish that. If not this month, then within the first week or so of June. So let's talk about haul. The last video I made, I told y'all that I had won in the drawing some fabric from the Stitching with the Housewives. I never win, but I won. So I got my fabric from them. It's just some Wycelt linen. It's 28 count in ivory. And look what came with it. Got a little zippered bag. So I thought that was nice that they included that. But yeah. So that was my first little bit of haul. I mean, it actually wasn't a haul, but it was new to me, right? And then I've been trying to find ways to build floss stash. And linen stash too. And I've decided that with linen stash, I'm just going to have to, like, I don't know, maybe buy a piece every month, without any intended use, just, buy some. But I got into Fat Quarter Shop's Weeks Dye Works Floss Frenzy. So I just signed, I put a notify me whenever it was available, and like within 2 weeks it was available. So don't get discouraged if you want to join one of those things, because I'm sure the same thing happens with everybody's fabric clubs that they have and all that. So just put it on there that you want to be notified and then do it. So this was or the colors of the month was called Cranberry Woods, and these are the colors. Aren't those gorgeous colors? So let's see what they are. That's red pear. Look at that. Gorgeous. Maybe I should put some fabric behind there. So, and sorry, I'm not great. I was never a model. Never meant to be a model. This is, oh my gosh, Williamsburg red. That's that. And then this is cranberry ice. Cranberry ice. Boysenberry. Ooh, that's really pretty. um, Lancaster red, and then rum raisin. I think I saw that called for in something. Anyway, rum raisin. So those are so pretty, and I was so glad to be able to be a part of that club. I can't wait to see what the next one is. Okay, where am I at next? Oh, the Contented Stitcher mentioned this pattern, and she and a friend of hers are going to start a stitch along, and she was invited. I meant to look up when they're going to start that. They may well have already started it, but I was thinking June 1st for some reason. But I went and found the pattern, and this is Victoria's Garden. So because of some other plans that have come up, I'm not sure if I'm going to start this right away with them, but I am going to stitch that because it's gorgeous. I love, love, love that. Love that tree in the center. I don't know if you can see that, but like right there. And then those two are also very nice. And so while I was on Etsy, at the Etsy shop I was in buying this, I also bought this Be Mine Biscornu by Heartstring Samplery as well, because I love the colors, and actually I've just wanted to sew one of those, and or make the Biscornu. I want to see how to do that. I want to try my hand at it. She includes in this pattern, if you buy it, she includes the story of how she and by she, I'm talking about Beth Twist, how she came to win the original sampler through auction. So that was kind of interesting. So there's that. And then I was watching for the first time several months ago. Well, it seems like several months ago. I'm not real sure now when it was. But Liz Matthews, or Hello from Liz Matthews. I was watching her floss tube, and she mentioned some stickers that she had gotten from an Etsy shop, and they were so cute that I had to go and buy some. And actually, I've had for a while, I've had the, what's that book called? I'm drawing a blank. The stitching book, like Brenda and Serial Starter, they're always talking about theirs. They pull it out and show you how they put all this Book of Days, I think. Anyway, and I haven't bought it because I didn't know about it at the very beginning of the year, and it doesn't make sense to me to buy something that starts in January when it's April. I don't know. I guess I could have. But wouldn't it be great if they just made that book so that you could start it whenever you want to? They just made the calendar and it was blank and you just put whatever month and year in there. But anyway, it's just an idea. So back to Liz Matthews and the stickers. But aren't these so lovely? And I thought, I'm going to buy those. And then when I do buy my Book of Days, or I'll use them somewhere else. And then this isn't a sticker, it's just a little like note piece, I guess, that you could attach with washi tape or something like that in your calendar. Those are cute. But I had to get these houses because they look like our little sampler houses, right? Those are so cute. And then I love these on black. They were just, and then all these florals. Aren't those cute? I had the best time looking through them. And there's lots of others that I didn't get. But this, she's got like, the floss and safety pin. I don't know. I just thought her details in there were so cute. And then look at those. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Anyway, this is from Paper Minty Studio. It's an Etsy shop. And then you get a little personalized little card, but here's our thing. Paper Minty Studio. I don't know if y'all can see that. on the Etsy shop. And if I can figure it out, I'll try to put a link to that in the box down below. It's only my third video, Little Gray Skies, but I'll try to figure that out. Can't be hard, right? I figured out how to load these on there. All right. Also on Liz Matthews, while she was doing her little floss tube, she showed this. The Dutch Sampler Collection. And so there's actually like 3 patterns in here. I loved it. Had to have it. I'm sorry, my light's casting a glare. But I just thought, I love the muted colors. I love the fact that there's several different motifs that you could pull out and make little pin cushions and pillows, and or little stitch cards or something like that with them. I just love that idea. And then the Peacock Party from Erica Michaels. First of all, everybody's talking about their little strawberries, and I know that Blackbird Designs does a lot of those. But I love peacocks. And so when I saw that, I had to buy it. I also jumped on the Flea Market Flowers bandwagon, and I got that. Flea Market Flowers by Lori Holt. I had a few of those colors in my stash. I didn't buy the thread pack because I knew I'd have a lot of them. So I need to, I don't know when I'll stitch that. It seems like it would be an appropriate summer stitch. I may start that in July. I don't know. We'll see. What else? I think that was it. I have several other things on the way. I'm going to try to stick to my guns and declare June a no new pattern month. I mean, I'll buy floss to complete patterns that I already have, but yeah, I think I need to stitch some things up before I buy anything else. We'll see how that goes, because gosh, aren't they always coming out with something that you just gotta have, right? It's not like they're going anywhere, and it's not like there won't be something else coming along that you love just as much, but I don't know, I get caught up. So that brings me to plans. What are my plans? So on the way to Baton Rouge, not Baton Rouge, on the way to New Orleans, I was watching FlossTube, and Colorado Stitcher had a new one out, and so I watched that. And she has the most fabulous ideas. Some of you may know, some of you may not have heard yet, but go to her FlossTube and watch it. I didn't look up the number, but when it's, the title is cross stitch camp, virtual cross stitch camp or something like that. And in around, I think the 8-minute mark or so, she starts talking about her idea. So she does a lot of knitting and whatnot. So she has a yarn shop. So she's already been doing like a knitting camp for her knitters on her YouTube channel. So the idea came to her to do a virtual cross stitch camp. And in my last video, you may recall that I was asking about, stitch retreats and things like that. I would love to go to one. And I'm a little late to the party, I guess, in 2021. And things were kind of up in the air about who was going to be able to do one or who was going to do one and all that because of the pandemic. And, I also had some other plans already in the works. And so, not going to make a stitch retreat this year. But watch me in 2022. I'll be there somewhere. But anyway, virtual stitch camp, cross stitch camp. Watch her videos. She's got some specific instructions on how to participate. She's going to start it on June 1st. The concept is that you'll start and finish a project each month. So it gives you the incentive to start and finish 3 pieces through the summer, which I think is great. And then she's got challenges. So like in June, you're going to stitch something that was inspired by someone else. So if you saw it done on somebody's floss tube, If you saw it in your local needle shop, needlework shop, whatever, something that you were inspired to do. And then in July, I think in July you're doing a designer that's new to you. And then in August, you're going to use a new, something new to you. So whether it's a new kind of floss, a new fabric dyer, or, whatever the case may be, you're going to do something that's new to you. And she has instructions on how to tag and how to participate and everything. I'm so excited. I immediately started planning what I was going to do. Well, sort of, because I'm in a quandary now. I don't know what to do for my June, okay? Because first of all, my time is kind of limited, so I'm not sure that I could start a bigger piece and be done by the end of the month. And the whole point is to finish. And she doesn't have any size requirements or anything like that. So I'm trying to pick something that I think I could finish. Now I have, I forget how they say we're supposed to say this name, but I have Cece or Casey or however you say that, Smith by the Scarlet House. I have that. I have it all kitted up. I have the fabric. I have everything. It's ready to go. And I could start that. But I'm not sure that I could finish that just because of my work schedule in 1 month. So another thought that I had is to choose like 3 of these little pillows or smaller patterns and stitch those. And I actually thought that I could use the fabric that I got from the Housewives. And I picked up this floss a long time ago, and just knew that I would find something to use it in. And so I was thinking that I could use that. It's called Tartan Plaid by Classic Colorworks. I absolutely love it. And it actually kind of matches my decor and everything. So I thought if I did that, it's not exactly cheating. It's not cheating because she didn't put any size parameters. But I thought I would try to do 3 of them because, like, who's going to do just one of those anyway, right? So that's the other thought that I had. I'll end up doing one of those 2 things in June. Then for July, and I don't know what I did with, excuse me while I reach. Here it is. In July, I'm going to do this because I have not stitched anything by Heartstring Sampler yet. I have several of their patterns, but I haven't started any of them. And so I'm going to stitch that for that month. I better get those flosses together. And then in August, I'm going to, again, and it's really because I had already ordered the floss that I'm going to use, and it's a new to me floss because it only calls for 2 colors. But I'm going to do all 4 of those, and I've ordered some Belle Soie floss to do those in. So, and I guess I should explain the inspiration piece for those June pieces is obviously I've seen, I think it was on Brenda and the Serial Starter that I first saw the C.C. Smith, or whatever the correct pronunciation is. But then I've also been inspired by, like, the Country Stitchers. They do a lot of finishes into, like, pillows. And I have a friend who is constantly doing, like, little pillows for her dough bowl. And she'll use, she'll do, like, seasonal. She'll stitch up several pillows and make it seasonal. And she puts some, changes them out throughout the year. So either way, I think I'd be safe there. So those are my thoughts. My other plans for this between now and my next video is I'm going to make some design boards. I watched a Lori Holt video on how she makes those, and I think I can do it. It's just a matter of sitting down to do it. um, but I've got tons of like fabric in 2.5 inch strips. I've got, I went and got the foam board, and I'm going to make them. And I'm going to make the 10 by 10 size. And the real reason I'm going to make them, well, one reason I want to make one is because I need something to sit beside me that I can put my floss on that I'm using. I like that idea. Otherwise, I mean, I'm stitching in my chair and I'm dropping stuff all over the place, and I can't find the thread my husband just sits there and laughs at me because he can tell when I'm looking for something, because, he'll be watching TV and all of a sudden I'm, he's like, "What'd you lose now?" And, so that's one reason. But I also need to get back to working on a quilt. It's a long story, but you have time for a story, right? So when my oldest daughter graduated high school, I had made a quilt for her. It was very simple. She picked out the fabric and the pattern, but she picked out pre-cut fabrics and a very simple pattern. And I thoroughly loved making that quilt. I gave that to her for her graduation. Well, then my youngest daughter says, "Okay, my turn. Where's my quilt?" And I'm like, "Well, you're going to have to, pick out all your stuff, right?" So we go to the fabric store. She chooses a quilt pattern first, and it does not call for pre-cut fabrics. I said, "Can't you choose something else?" "No, I like this one." Okay. So it was my second quilt. I didn't know at the time. I mean, it had like flying geese in it, and, I don't know if you know what that means or not, but it's a bunch of triangles put together in like, anyway. I thought, okay, how hard can it be? So then we bought the fabric. Well, immediately what I realized is I'm impatient when it comes to cutting fabric, because I just want to get to the piecing part of things, right? So you rush that, then you're going to have a really hard time piecing your pieces together, right? So already I've created a challenge for myself. Secondly, I know now that there's a much easier way to do the half square triangles and whatnot. But at the time, I didn't know that. And so once you start it in a way, you kind of have to keep going in that way because you've already cut your fabric to do it that way. So I did all that. And at the time, I didn't have a craft room. So my sewing machine was set up in the back of my living room. Well, it was getting to be Christmas time, and that's where I put my Christmas tree. So I had to take my sewing machine down, put all the quilting stuff away. I put the quilt pattern in a place that I would never forget where I put it. I forgot. So I knew where all the fabric and everything was. I just couldn't find the instructions for 2 years. Now, I'm not saying that I searched for it diligently, over 2 years. I'm just saying that when I would think about it and look for it, I could not find it. And that took place over 2 years. Well, I found it last Christmas while she was home for her Christmas break from her first year of college. So I'm already way behind in the game. So I found that pattern. And anyway, fast forward, Lori Holt's design boards. I thought this will help me to get that back organized and figure out where I'm at, because it's been put away for so long that I now need to figure out where I'm at in the whole scheme of putting the pattern together. So that's the long way around to why I'm going to do some design boards. But think I can do them. Hopefully I'll have some to show you on my next video. We'll see. And there's always organizing and things like that I can do. in my craft room. So that is also in my plans. And cross stitch camp. I'm all about the cross stitch camp. So go check out Colorado Stitcher's floss tube, especially if you're interested in participating in that. And hopefully I'll see you in some of your beautiful stitching there. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you would like to, and drop me a comment if you would like. And hopefully I'll see y'all soon. I'm not going to promise when my next floss tube video will be, because every time I do, stuff happens. So we'll just leave it at I'll see you next time.